It's Michelle Green again. It's November 28th and it's 3:11 p.m. Wanted to discuss today, or for the moment, my experience with the Cochran firm. I have been trying to get in touch with the Cochran firm for a couple years now, off and on, and I do know that some of my phone calls have been redirected, and it hasn't been the Cochran firm. However, I do believe that I have been in contact with the Cochran firm because I've literally gone to 2 locations, even 3 locations, and the treatment that I have received is beyond comprehension. However, let's start with the plantation office in Florida. I called in and I spoke with a Mr. Leeds who wanted to go over everything by phone. I shared with him the fact that I was uncomfortable because of my cyber crimes, and I quite frankly didn't know who I was speaking to because those are the dynamics that I'm dealing with. He wasn't too thrilled about the meeting, but I told him I'd call him back. I showed up because I did not want him to state that he couldn't meet with him, and I need to make sure who I was speaking with. But I also took someone with me. We met eventually after going back a couple times with Mr. Leeds. Met in the conference room with one of the other employees and also someone that I had brought there. I shared with Mr. Leeds by way of phone. I had also sent him some documents as to what was going on. And when we sat down, he advised that the Cochran firm could not help me. He also advised, without me asking, that I should go to the Ben Crump firm. However, in order for Ben Crump to take my case, someone had to be murdered, which we all know is bullshit. I then explained to Mr. Leeds my background, that I wasn't as young as I looked, and that he was doing was well beyond unprofessional, especially as a managing partner. I was curious as to how he could refer me to another law firm when the Cochran firm has a broad scope of services. As I've watched and read by Hezekiah, Sistrunk, the national partner and president, we'll come to you, whatever you need. I recognize the fact that the plantation office was for finances, but all he had to do was pick up the phone, which I requested, and he refused. However, I pushed the envelope and he agreed with this one thing. I also researched Chana, what is her last name? Chana Lloyd. I hope I'm not butchering her name either. And she's the managing director in Orlando. I asked him if he could at least call or send an email to introduce us. He agreed. However, I never spoke with her. I spoke with her paralegal, who advised that the Cochran firm doesn't touch my cases. Anyone could open up any of my videos and see. Again, that's BS. At this point, I wasn't surprised. My ex is touching things left and right. A paralegal who's worth their grain and salt could say, yes, we got some serious crimes going on here. These are serious cases, and I say that to be plural. So I stopped calling after that. I kind of pulled back from the Cochran firm, in lieu of the fact that I know I read that Johnny Cochran created the firm because he needed a job. He had challenges getting a job, and at that time, no one was looking to help people of color, especially black folk. So he saw opportunity and he went for it and it paid off. However, I returned back to the country July 2022. So I decided to walk myself to the Cochran firm in Washington, D.C. I explained to the security that I was trying to get to the Cochran firm and wanted to get to their floor. I was advised that no one was allowed to their floor. Their floor is locked. You can't even get to their floor to speak to the receptionist to speak with an intake or an attorney. I shouldn't be, as the security wanted me to share, why was I going to see the Cochran firm? That's none of her damn business. It's sensitive information. That's client and attorney information. Why a security would be asking that information, legal information, for the security firm, that's a major issue. She went ahead and I requested that she contact the firm. She did. The person that I spoke with said that nobody was in lieu of the fact that it was well after 9 a.m. and that I would have to call them or recontact them. At this point, we're on the security's cell phone. She's given the excuse that the phone line is inoperable or the cords are not working or some excuse that makes no sense. So I left. I figure I give it an hour or two, and I returned back to the building. And went back and forth for a little bit, and then surprisingly, managing partner David Haynes came downstairs. Instead of inviting me upstairs to say, let me speak with a potential client to see what's going on, he comes downstairs and he tells me, we can't take your case. I did speak with him previously, 2 or 3 months back, and I shared with him a malpractice case. I stated that there were other crimes, but I wanted to focus on the malpractice. And once I sat down with an attorney, just kind of roll out everything. He told me that it was too late to do anything, which I've been advised by other attorneys. It is not too late. It's upon discovery, so it's not late, but yet he's telling me that. I asked to speak with Karen Evans or Sandra Robinson because of the sensitivity of the crimes. He still stated no. I shared with him police brutality had a lot to do with it and some other things. He stated no at every level. My question is why? He came downstairs rather than inviting me upstairs to speak to me like you would, a potential client, or just someone in need who's been going through a lot of changes. I also reached out to Keith Givens, another managing partner and shareholder, Derek Sells, managing partner, New York, Brian Dunn, managing partner, California, and I've sent emails and snail mail and calls, nothing. I also reached out to James Carter, who's a managing partner of Trials and Mass Torts. I did receive a phone call. However, the person never said anything. I don't know if they had issues with their phone. It just, I could hear them. So I could hear someone breathing. My phone log states that a James Carter called me back, but they said nothing, and I eventually just hung up. I've requested repeatedly to speak with Hezekiah Sistrunk, the national partner and president. I'm still asking to speak with you. I'm still wanting to know why your two partners have refused to even allow me to speak with anyone or assist with that. Why am I being treated so indifferently? Why am I not allowed on the floor to speak with anyone regarding my crimes, which are serious as hell, meeting all types of violations, civil rights, human rights, everything, police brutality, medical malpractice, but nobody wants to touch it. And so hopefully this social media message will get to you by way of either your staff or by way of strangers bombarding your office, calling your email you, asking you, why is this black woman being treated indifferently when Mr. Cochran established a firm to help people such as myself? I hope to hear from you soon, Mr. Sistrunk. Thank you.